Check, check.
Check, check. Check one, check two.
Check, check. Check the mic.
Check the microphone. 1, 2, 1, 2.
And we're here.
We're here.
And hello.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. All right. So welcome back to
Grandma's Not Right.
Because we're not right.
We're not right.
We are grandmas, but we're not right.
Haven't been since 1967.
I haven't been since 1960.
I came out of the womb not right, I'm sure. I was wanted the least, and everybody knows
whatever.
that.
Whatever. Whatever. But you were grandma's favorite.
We'll get to that later. Much later.
So how was your week?
My week was going pretty good until, let's just say Friday I got the call. Doesn't matter who, where, what, why, but I had to. I had to deal with the situation with my granddaughter. I don't just say I. Obviously her mom was involved. I kind of joked around that it triggered me because it's the same school that my kid went to and had to pick them up. And I don't need to go into the situation because it's nobody's business, but the way I handled it was way different than I would have handled it when it was my own child. And I'm happy that I'm doing better now, but then it makes me so sad for that kid and myself and how I reacted. Basically just talking to her, coming from a place of, okay, why did you do this? Was it A, B, or C? And well, even if you were, if you weren't at fault, you know, there's things that you just can't do at school. And if you continue to do these actions at school, they have the right to get mad at you or punish you. And we went on the whole thing of keep your hands to yourself, all that. And just for the fact, what I did was, my daughter will probably love this. I said, picture it like a web. And I said, you did this thing and it got this, let's say this teacher or counselor involved, and then this kid and their parents. And so I was explaining to her, I said, this one little thing you did, even if you were joking or it was an accident, whatever, however you want to say that this happened, you're now affecting, and me and mommy, because they had to call mommy, and then mommy had to call me, and I had to go out of my meeting that I was in at my job to come and get you. And I said, all just this one little thing, you affected all these people's day. I said, so I want you to think about this. Think of, do you want a web that's dark and creepy and black and with so much sorrow, or would you rather picture that web as being golden, and then you do something really nice for somebody or something, and all those little spider webs go out to people and it's happy and joyful. So, you know, I put it on her level, and this is all just coming out of my ass out of nowhere. I'm just like, how do I get to this kid? My kid got none of that. It was like, if I have to pick you up one more time for school, yeah, what's happening? You know, I was angry. I was angry at the universe for giving me a kid like this. Oh, you mean a kid just like you? You know, no, but really, I thought and looked back and like, you know, I thought I was doing a good job trying to be good, but it was like, I'm going to wipe this slate clean every morning, but then one thing would happen. It's like, oh, here we go again. And I'd give the lecture for like the whole ride. Lecture. I don't want to see that again. And do you know what you did? And you know how many people you affected doing all this? So that's my point, was just that. And then I said, do you understand? Yes. Okay, now we're done with it. We're going to go on with our day. Good. It's all over. Good. You know, that kind of stuff. So anyway,
cool.
That was the Friday. That was the end of my week.
Well, those moments where you realize and remember back how you handled things with your own kids.
Yeah.
When you're with the grandkids. And
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, oh well.
Well, she has a very good grandmother.
Thank you. I'm doing my best.
Bo-do.
All right. So what about you? How was your week?
It was pretty good. You know, nothing special, nothing exciting. I had a cool things happen with Jace. You know,
Okay.
we're working on some stuff. I ordered him a spelling board.
Controversial spelling
Yes.
board.
Yes, the spelling. Anyway, so I'm anxious to use that.
Okay.
'Cause I just got it today, or actually this morning, I think.
I was here, and it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Because you thought the mail didn't bring it, and you were checking your Ring camera, and I just went out to the
Oh, it was
mailbox and was
yesterday.
in there.
Tired. Because
We're
that's
tired.
what else we did today.
Yes.
First of all, we hung out last night. My husband Mike is off doing a gig for the weekend, so he's gone. So my sister Wendy comes to stay the weekend with me because she's helping me again with another art show today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Friday night, of course, we're together, we're alone, we got all this catching up to do, and we stayed up way too late.
And too much of this.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, we did too much of that. Anyway, we stayed up way too late, and we had to be out the door by like 6:45 this morning. So we probably got, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And had to get up, get ready, pack the truck,
Excuse me.
get all the art stuff there and set it up. And anyway, so this art show went until 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just got home a little bit ago,
Yep.
crammed down some dinner, and started this video.
We are here.
So we are here, and we are loopy.
Loopy.
Loopy. But that's okay. The hard part's over, but
I'm always
exhausted.
loopy.
So yeah, I don't even know what day it is half the time. I get so tired, like, what day is it? I don't even know. Anyway,
You're retired.
here's why I got
You don't
confused
have a
about
clock.
the
Just kidding.
delivery of the letterboard.
Okay.
Because when we got home today,
Mm-hmm.
I happened to look and see that there was a notice from the door cam that someone had come to the front door.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to check it, and it was some guy throwing a package to the front door.
Oh.
And it was something Mike ordered.
Oh.
So when we got home, I grabbed it and put it
Oh,
up on
okay.
the counter. But
Yeah.
that's why, because I was thinking about seeing that
Right,
one from
right,
today,
okay.
forgetting that the letterboard came yesterday.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay. I'll let
It
that
also
go.
could just be because I'm overtired and old. And yeah.
All right. I'll let that go then.
But we had a pretty good time at today's affair.
Yeah. We'll
Event.
talk about that on a separate
Yeah, separate
podcast.
Because we've got some interesting observations.
Observations.
Um,
Ooh.
yeah. So I wanted to tell you about some things that I've been discovering about Jason's speech. So
All right.
since it's still April and it's still Autism Month, we're going to stay on this subject for
Yes.
the month.
So if you hate autism, just don't bother coming back for the month. If you're some kind of heartless monster.
Autism cancel culture.
Oh no.
Anyway, so I realized in just the research that I've done over the last few years, I always knew about speech and controlling the part of the brain that controls the ability to move the mouth and the tongue
Right.
and everything in proper speech, that it's affected by West syndrome or affected by, well, I guess the result is apraxia.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctors never talked about any of that to me. None of them. I've never heard those two terms. But when I went back and looked through his records, on one of the old papers from when he was first tested, it said something about West syndrome. And I thought, if I'd have known that, I mean, it still basically doesn't change the fact that he has autism,
No,
but his
but-
infantile spasms in the beginning, that was part of the West syndrome.
They didn't think your little mind could handle the news.
I don't know. I think they thought my little mind couldn't understand it or something.
You're a
So,
woman.
I'm just a woman.
You're
I don't know
woman.
shit. I kind of, I know how to research it.
Yeah.
I might not know it, but I know where to find it. So in that process of kind of searching for some answers there, I discovered how his own little way of making up words and phrases, because he didn't know how to say, he hadn't learned it or didn't know how to say what it was he wanted to say.
Right.
That's called gestalt language.
Mm-hmm.
He always was, he always fairly echolalic, so he would echo whatever we'd say, especially the last few words. He'd almost say them with you.
Yeah.
It was like he knew, he anticipated what you were saying, and he would almost say the words with you.
I do remember that.
So the speech is, he's understanding it. It's
Yeah.
just that he's not always able to articulate what's in his brain through his mouth. So we had so much fun over the years with his little made up words, but they make sense.
Well, we talked about the Shawawais.
Yeah, shawarrais, we
The
brought
French
that up
fries.
last week, which are French fries, and that came from the way I said, want some fries? Shawarrais. So if you, as a parent, if you start to notice those kinds of things, it helps you understand how to help them, because
Right.
you're kind of getting an idea of how their brain is working, how they're learning.
Exactly.
So there have been other things through the years. What's your favorite? You know a few of them. Bring up one favorite of yours that's a gestalt language.
Oh man, I mean
Special
the
thing.
fries one was probably the top. I mean later when he was living here as an adult, saying chicken fish and fire meat.
Chicken fish is
I think
your
chicken
favorite.
fish is the funniest shit I've ever heard.
Chicken fish, I think, is the latest and funniest one. But let me tell you a few other examples. Okay.
Wait, we need a TM, trademark TM, chicken fish.
Chicken fish,
and
TM,
fire
TM,
meat.
Fire meat, TM,
Maybe
TM.
not fire meat, but TM,
I
TM,
think fire meat.
Shawawais.
But there's another one.
Oh God, wait, what did I miss?
So I think one of the first ones he came up with was fire meat.
Okay.
And that came along when we were having a barbecue, and my husband had some friends over, and they had put the stuff on the barbecue, and Jason was outside playing, and Mike said, "Look, Jace, we got the meat on the barbecue. We're gonna have steak tonight or whatever." And somehow Jason associated the fire in the barbecue with meat, and forever then it was called fire meat. So anything,
It's so simple, and
a steak to him is fire meat.
It's
because
funny
of that.
because we know Jason and the way he says stuff. So it's not even just the words themselves.
It's how he says
It's
it,
how he
right?
says it, and it's so innocent, That's the way he thinks, and it's just hilarious.
And I have clips of him saying some of these things, but to dig them up, they're all, I've got so many clips. So fire meat. And then another one that came up that was hilarious was cheese on it.
Oh, cheese on it! I forgot about cheese on it.
Okay, so
Cheese on it.
he used to love to just eat corn tortillas, He'd want you to just kind of warm them up a little bit and then put a tiny bit of salt on them, and then he would just eat them. But I wanted him to have some kind of protein in that snack, and I thought, well, something a little more solid. So I thought, well, I'll put some cheese on it, right? So I said, "Hey, Jace, do you want some cheese on it?" Yes. So he sees me with the tortilla, and I put the cheese on it, and I give it to him. So then from that moment on, it was not a quesadilla. It is a cheese on it.
Cheese on it.
But he also called it a cheese on it even if there was no cheese in it.
Because it was a tortilla?
To this day, if he wants a tortilla, he says cheese on it.
No, he doesn't.
He still does. Yes.
Oh, Chase.
He does.
Cheese,
and then-
cheese on it?
Cheese on it. What else? Oh, he used to, for the longest time, called Diet Coke, was it Diet Coke? I can't remember what it was, but he called it blue soda. Because at that time, there was blue on the can.
Oh, like a Pepsi? Pepsi
It wasn't
is blue?
Pepsi,
Oh,
but
Royal
it was.
Crown?
It was.
I almost said Crown Royal.
Crown
That's
Royal.
something else.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, it was Coke, but
Oh.
for a while they had some
Oh,
designer
cherry. I
label
think
or
that-
something that had blue on it.
And it wasn't
I
cherry
don't know.
Coke?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
okay.
I think it was. I'm not sure.
We'll find out. Maybe she'll put a picture up.
But but for some reason
I'm
he called
confused
it
AF.
blue soda.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe in his mind or in his
Yeah, who
world,
knows?
the color of it was blue. I don't know, the soda, actual soda. Because he knew Sprite, he knew 7-Up,
Yeah.
you know, but
Oh, yeah, I
blue
remember he used
soda
to
for
ask
the
for
longest
Sprite.
time. And now it's Diet Coke. And he also likes Dr. Pepper. This is another funny thing. Okay, so I buy him those little miniature bottles of Diet Coke. Well, he knows it tastes the same as the big bottle you get at the gas station or Walmart or wherever you're going. He calls it big bottle, but he also refers to it as zero. And I think it was because initially he was getting a zero Coke
Yeah.
instead of a regular Diet Coke.
Oh, okay.
So to him, the big
It's too many
bottle
Cokes.
is zero.
Yeah.
Anyway, so whenever he says zero, please, you know, or whatever, I'm like, no, we have Coke at home. Zero. So it's like he's not registering that that is the same thing. It's just smaller. So now
okay.
he's gotten to where he says big bottle.
Because he knows,
He
I
knows
want more.
I want a bigger one. I don't want that little piece of crap. I want a big bottle. Give me the big bottle. I'm a big boy.
He is a big boy.
You know. So he doesn't get what he wants all the
No.
time. But
I
anyway.
mean, you'd have to tell him, Jason, because I'm the one that has to deal with when you have a stomach ache or when you get older and your body starts falling apart in your teeth because you had too many Diet Cokes. And then he doesn't understand that, but it's for your own good.
It is. And that's the hard part. You know, I want him to have a full life with able to make choices for himself.
If he wants to.
But I'm the one who has to suffer the consequences
Right.
of his health choices,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
his sister will. You know, so anyway. And then, but the piece de resistance is the one that's Wendy's favorite, which is chicken fish.
Chicken
Okay, so here's what happened. I was making dinner, and from the couch where Jason sits and watches TV for hours, I'm making dinner and he can see me. So he sees me opening up. We do a lot of chicken stir fry. We had been doing a lot of chicken stir fry, but this time we were going to do shrimp stir fry. So he saw me put the same vegetables and go through the same routine I do, the same big wok that I use. And when he came into the kitchen to get a drink of water, he's looking at me, and I, you know, he sees the shrimps in the bowl. And I said, Jace, what are we having for dinner? And he says, chicken fish. Chicken fish. I said, is it
She
chicken?
said it like that.
Chicken fish. Chicken fish. I don't know. It's hilarious the way he said it so forcefully. It was like,
Oh my
chicken
gosh.
fish, you know, okay. Are you excited? Yes. So instead
my
of it being
gosh.
chicken stir fry, he knew that shrimp was not chicken, and he somehow understands that shrimp is seafood or fishy, right?
Yeah.
So to him,
Chicken fish.
that was chicken fish. So now that's what we call shrimp. It's called
Yes.
chicken fish.
TM chicken fish and TM,
TM
cheese
chicken
on
fish,
it.
cheese on
TM,
it.
TM, cheese on it. Like anybody cares. They will when we have T-shirts that
That's
say
right.
that. Jason's
That's right.
isms.
So I might
We're
put
gonna-
him up with asterisk
We're gonna
trademark.
exploit him like other autism people
Right.
exploit their kids. You're gonna sell these shirts and make us millions.
Fold those shirts. Put them in that bag.
No,
Well, that
that's
was-
not true because
No, we don't do that.
I follow a wonderful account with a mom that has a girl and they have a warehouse with shirts. That kid, she's awesome.
And they love it. Once they learn to do
Yes.
something, they love doing it. Jason loves to help Mike in the garage. He likes to help me fold laundry, and he is the best folder. He folds things so perfectly, you know? And he gets mad when he has to start over if it doesn't match up properly. So he starts over and he has to make it flat so that he can match those corners up, you know?
Oh my gosh, poor Jace.
It's funny. But he helped me fold these little tiny pieces of paper. For any of you in the autism world, you know this, but other people might not know that they do have some fine motor skill difficulties. Jason, though, he can spin anything that is spinnable. He can spin it on a tiny surface very quickly, and then just do this. So I don't know why some motor skills are so easy for him and others are such a challenge. It's very interesting. So all of these isms and he tries to he'll talk under his breath. He'll talk under his breath and say things like he'll be like, Diet Coke, yes. Diet Coke, yes. Hardly moving his lips. And I'm like, what? Diet Coke? Yes. Yeah, so it's like he wants to, I think he feels like if he whispers it, we won't say no or something. I think he's afraid we're going to say no, so he's going to whisper it, you know. Yeah, it's very interesting how his language is developing.
Sorry, I'm sending a message to somebody who's trying to get a hold of us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to stop this podcast for that.
The other thing, I want to encourage parents out there who have little ones that have just been diagnosed. If they're non-speakers and you want them to develop some way of communicating, even if it's not, it doesn't develop into full-on speech, is to make sure you play games with them, get them to use their tongue. The best thing is if they like ice cream, or if there's anything kind of food that they can lick that they really like, you get them to learn how to get their tongue out of their mouth. Mm-hmm. They're not going to necessarily be able to do it just by watching you, because that's confusing. But if you have something and you hold it out for them to lick, you show them first how, and then you do it, to get them used to using their tongue to do something. And then the step after that is teach them to go blah, 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 and play a game with that, blah, 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 so that they learn how to use their tongue to make a noise. And then we used to, in our gym, we used to do this thing
I was just going to say, so please tell,
called lizards. And it was just a little kind of exercise, let's say, where they would lay flat down and then we'd have them push their self up on their arms, on their hands, and be a lizard. So they would run their tongue over their teeth. So those are the ways that you can get them used to not only, it's not even the matter of them using their tongue, it's the awareness that they are in control of their tongue. That's one thing to understand,
I didn't think about that before,
because even with their hands and hand-eye coordination, it's not that they can't develop good hand-eye coordination, because my son you threw a ball to him, he could just reach up and grab it. And it was almost just like instant. He knew right in space where it was going to be, right? So it's not necessarily the hand-eye coordination that's the problem in the beginning. It's that they don't know that they are moving their hand. Mm-hmm. It's like their hand is just a part of them, but they don't know that they can do something with that hand. So once they start learning that, then of course they use it. So that's the same with their tongue. They've got to understand that that is under their control. Right. And they learn that they can make sounds. My son can whistle. He can whistle now. And he can whistle in perfect key, right?
Have I missed this? Maybe I haven't
You've never seen him whistle?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So he used to whistle better than now, but that's just because we don't do it all the time. But he can whistle, and he can do it in key, which is interesting to me, because if he's not able to really use his voice, he still has that connection to be able to whistle in key. He also can sing in key. So even though he's not enunciating and using his muscles to say things clearly, he is able to get the proper sound out. Right. So you have to look for all these little things, you know. But it's been fun, and it's continuing to be a fun venture, because we learn new things every day about what he is capable of doing, and he's starting to, I think, feel better about it,
because he can communicate better and get his point across.
And he's starting to understand things, which I think it makes him feel accomplished. Honestly.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, just the echolalia in the beginning is really important, because that's how babies learn by mimicking, but then they eventually get the idea that certain things they say get them results, what they want.
Well, and that's why I know what I've witnessed in some situations. I won't say where, who, why, what, but using food as a reward, like you do this and you get one Skittle, you do this, you get a Skittle. And I've seen some of the classes that I've worked around, not our classes, but the school classes. Food motivation, and it's hard because, like, at first, as a fitness person and all the obesity issues with kids and stuff, I was just like, motivate kids with food. But you know what? I get it, because if that kid won't get off the top of the slide or whatever it is, they're not allowed to pick them up anymore, or, to help them or anything. So you got to talk this kid in. What else do you do if they're going to be motivated by food? A lot of people think that that's like, not good, but one Skittle. But they might have 10 Skittles a day because they want them to have good behavior. So I don't know.
Well, here's what I discovered with Jace. I've gone back and forth, carrot stick, carrot stick. So I've gone back and forth with, you cannot have a Diet Coke if you do that again. So taking it away.
Right.
To, if you do a really good job today, you'll get a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is that's confusing for him.
Yeah.
Because
right.
On the one hand, okay, I did a really good job, but then you did something bad today, so now you don't get it. So it's just really, it doesn't work. It doesn't work unless you use it one way consistently.
Yeah,
So I stopped using that. The only thing I will say to him, if he does something really bad and he knows that he's doing it, he knows it's bad, because he tells me, he'll tell me what it is. Don't do that.
Don't
do that on the couch or whatever. And so he knows that he's doing something he shouldn't, but he can't help himself from doing it. That's fine, but he knows it's wrong. So I say, okay, one more time,
right?
And you're not getting any treats tonight.
Yeah,
and I
just
stick
like
with
any
it.
other kid. Well, and that goes back. By the way, on the side note, let me say, when I mean food motivation, I mean unhealthy food. As opposed to healthy food was my problem. Where I know Diet Coke's not healthy, but it's not. That's the whole point. It's Diet Coke, and he really wants a Coke, and you're only giving him a small amount a day, and it's better than the alternative, and that whole thing. Like, my problem is the candy. I'm like, candy.
Yeah.
That's not good. And Skittles are so bad for their teeth. It should really be like chocolate or something, Now, in our class, we do have Skittles, but these kids don't need to be food. We were giving them to them if they did a good job for, like, going toilet training, one Skittle, but it's not all day they get Skittles, where if you're giving a kid in some of these classes Skittles for that, we're talking,
that's a lot.
That's a lot of Skittles.
And I'm of the philosophy that, now what I try to do with Jace anyway, I want him to feel accomplished at what he's learned to do, or accomplished at my reaction to what he's done.
Yeah.
So I don't want him to, because I guess that's the point I was trying to make. I don't want him to just be good because he thinks he's going to get a soda. I want him to learn that he needs to behave. He needs to act right. He needs to do, control himself from doing things that are inappropriate, and he knows what they are.
Yeah.
So it's not like he doesn't know.
Yeah, because he's 32, and these kids are, first, second, third grade, just learning.
Yeah.
They're still learning. So,
and he
I
learned
guess
with food motivation when he was younger.
We all do. I learned with food motivation. If you tell me that, hurry up, we're going to go to dinner, boy, I'll clean that house so fast. I'm getting a good free meal.
Yeah, so I was laughing the other day. I was telling Wendy, when you think about all of the little weird language, English language, American language, let's say that, American language, weird things, probably regional too, I would say.
Yeah.
Like if we grew up where mom and where our grandma McManus were mom and everybody. We grew up in Michigan or in the East,
Yeah.
right? In their era, in a farmy, folksy way, there would be things like tarnation, what the
I see what
tarnation
you're
are you
saying.
doing?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. Trying to
things,
feel.
I am too. So there are sayings that are sometimes still used today that our kids would never understand what it means, where it came from, or why.
Yeah.
And there are so many of them.
Well, let me just say one that you just said earlier, that our younger viewers, if we have any younger viewers, when you talked about the carrot, they might have thought you actually meant a carrot.
Oh, carrot stick,
I was gonna,
carrot stick.
because we were talking about food motivation and candy or something, and then I thought, but anyway, I just thought, they could think you meant an actual carrot. If you've ever seen all those old 1930s cartoons or whatever, it's like to motivate whoever, a rabbit, you put a carrot in front of it on a stick and then it'll keep going and do it,
Well,
or whatever. I don't know what the original
the carrot
premise.
was to entice. So like if you had a mule that wouldn't move, you'd hold a carrot out.
Right.
To
The
move,
whole
right?
premise is
The stick is if they won't move, you beat them. So that's where you get carrot, stick, carrot. Is the
yeah.
carrot is motivating you.
I didn't know about the stick part.
The stick is
How
beating
awful.
you into submission. So
Terrible.
it's like, you either move or you're going to get hit. Or it's here, you want this carrot, you got to move,
That's some positive and
Those are-
negative reinforcement all
Those
at
are
once.
two different types of behavior.
So that's what she meant
training.
when she was talking about the carrots.
Sticks.
Just if they're, I doubt anybody's gonna question that, but you never know.
Never know.
Maybe 5 years from now, someone watches this and goes, "Fuck, she's talking about carrots."
Right. But like our grandmas, we grew up with so many interesting ones. And I'm drawing a blank on the one that I was trying to think of earlier. Grandma used to say, "Tarnation." What else did
Like
she
idioms, kind of, or
yeah, just like
like it's raining cats and dogs, kind of things
raining
like
cats
that.
and dogs.
Which
or
that's a
that-
lot of
yeah.
people say that, but specifically, well, I mean, just words that they add. I mean, if they're sayings, but just like, well, we always talked about wash rag. Our family would say wash rag.
Wash rag.
She would say, she'd call the couch was called a Davenport.
Davenport. Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a brand. Is that like when they call all diapers or Pampers?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Because
Maybe, but Davenport may have come from,
who
It
knows?
could have even
Well, maybe we'll look
come
that up
from
and put it down
English,
there. I don't know.
But
And then Davenport. Well, this is not so much a thing as just an old-fashioned term for everybody as a bedspread. I just don't
Bedspread.
hear that. I said bedspread, and so someone who was like in their 30s, maybe 40s, like, what is a bedspread? And I'm all, it's like, God. And I explained it. Well, we got a sheet, a blanket, and then over that you had a thin something that covered it. That was before comforters came out. That was just a thin little thing you put over your bed to protect your blanket.
and now it's a duvet.
Oh, duvet, yeah, duvet. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's other things. Well, when she used to babysit us, when Mom would be working nights, so Mom would be gone all night, and then she would stay the night with us, and then
She's
she'd
talking
wake
about grandma.
my grandma. She would wake us up before my mom would get home from work, and she'd say, "Rise and shine, glitter and glisten."
So, but there's so many things from a bygone era that we still use, like an ice box.
Oh yeah, Grandma always said ice box.
Ice box.
Even
And
till the
our
day she died in
parents-
2013.
Our parents called it an ice box.
I never
up
remember
until,
that.
Well, before you.
Oh, yeah, we're
would
far
remember.
apart.
And I grew up. We had refrigerators in the house, but we had an old travel trailer that literally had an ice box, where you buy a block of ice and you put it inside
Yeah,
the ice box.
crazy.
So that's where that comes from.
Yeah,
An ice box is what
ice.
it's
box.
like, basically a cooler.
Sorry.
And so that's something. If I were to say, "Oh, it's in the ice box,"
Kids would go,
what's in the ice box? What did you just say?
Well, that's like now I still in front of my classes too, and my kids, I'll say something and I'll say videotape, like I'm going to videotape that. I go, what? I mean, I'm going to film that. I don't know I didn't say anything. What's videotape?
It's videotape. So it's, and that ties in with what we're talking about with the gestalt language. When you think about it, language, all of these things are made up by somebody.
Shakespeare made up a ton of our words, a ton. I heard a thing, someone was saying someone said he made up upstairs, the word upstairs.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard. Don't
I
shoot the messenger.
Maybe.
Because there used to be only one room. People only had one room.
Okay.
And no one would ever say I'm going upstairs or downstairs because everyone had one room. So when people started to have, then it was like, there's stairs. I'm going to be in the upstairs. I don't know. That's what I heard. I haven't looked it up and researched it, but he made supposedly through his works, he created a bunch of words that were not in the English language. So I'm just saying, perhaps.
Well, there's expressions like, bye cracky, or I mean, there's so many things that I remember Grandma saying. At the time, I didn't think they were weird, but looking back now, I'm like, my kids would be like, what? What is that?
Our mother used to say, good gravy.
Good gravy.
Good gravy.
Good gravy.
Not good grief.
No, it's good gravy.
Not good God. Good gravy.
Yep.
I'm sure there's so many more I can't think of. We really should have researched it and wrote it down.
But just that the point is that language is a made up thing from the get go, right? I mean, somebody had to make up words as they went along. So I think it's really cool that the brain does that. It associates things.
And so for autistic kids, it's a whole other.
Yeah, they're creating their own language by saying what makes sense in their head about something, and using that as their own label for it, or their own description of it. And we need to be patient and listen and be kind in our response.
Yes.
Of course, we just laugh.
I mean, we wouldn't laugh if he got frustrated with what he wanted.
And we don't laugh at him
That's
and point and say, oh, you said that.
Boy.
We laugh at, Yeah. He doesn't know we're laughing at him, let me say that. We're not laughing at him, we're laughing at the word. And we are also laughing in amazement at how his brain comes up with these sayings.
How do you not
awesome.
laugh at, there's no way you can't laugh at chicken, fish, fire meat, cheese on it, Shawa wise.
Yeah.
What was the other one? That was it, right?
Oh, there's more. I just can't think of them right now, but yeah. And so I guess we just have to keep listening and keep allowing him to, use this and draw it out. Now, eventually he learns the real word for it. He does. But in the meantime, it's something that, he knows he's communicating what he wants and you're understanding it. That's communication. That's the important part.
Right.
Well, yeah, because if you want to call a couch or a couch a Davenport, who's wrong? One person sees it one way, one person sees it another, and they call it as they see it,
Well, and that's just it. He knows the word, so even if he gets mixed up in the speech or whatever, if you ask him, do you want some shrimp? Mm-hmm. He knows what it is.
He knows what shrimp is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I guess, is that he does eventually learn the right thing for it, but just the fact that he feels accomplished in getting across what he wants to say makes him more confident than to continue learning, and continue trying. Yeah,
and you're not going to say, no, it's shrimp. Like, you don't correct like that. We snicker about it, and then we go, oh, yeah, we're gonna have shrimp.
Or I'll say something like, oh, chicken fish. That's a fun name for it. I call it shrimp, but you can call it chicken fish. So being gentle about it, but giving him the other option if he chooses to use it down the road.
I like chicken fish, mother.
Chicken fish.
Chicken fish. Chicken fish.
And so now when I'm cooking something like that, he knows the difference. He knows the difference between chicken in a big package that I'm cutting up,
Yeah.
or shrimp.
Yeah.
You know, he looks and he sees what we're cooking and he knows the difference. And it's just hilarious because you can say, hey, Jace, what are we having for dinner?
Now, if you
He'll
say,
chicken fish.
well, if you say like, because I know he gets frustrated easily, and we're all trying to, figure that out. Well, you're trying to figure it out, and then you tell us. That's kind of how it works. But like in the past, if you asked him something, and he got frustrated because you didn't know what he wanted, and it was a meltdown, or he's hitting himself or whatever. But is he getting better? Like if you, I don't know, if you said, hey, we're going to have shrimp, whatever. Do you want some? Don't you want some? I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, is he getting the idea that if you say, do you want to talk about, what this is, or do you just want to wait until it's done and you're going to eat it? Does that make sense? Like, if you prompt him to talk about things, like, do you want to talk about, is this chicken fish? Is this shrimp? Or do you like the name better? What do you think, Jason? What's your opinion? Or do you not want to talk about it at all? I mean, do you have those kind of conversations?
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Actually, as he's gotten older, he wants to say or do it right. He wants it to be correct. So, but he gets mad when I correct him. So like if we're doing some new task, or even if we're folding clothes and I say, hey Jace, let me show you a trick to that. Let me show you how you can do that easier. And I start to show him, he'll start hitting himself because he thinks that he did it wrong, and he thinks that I'm correcting him. And for some reason, it really bothers him that he didn't do it perfect. So, so in that situation, it would be like, I'll point to the food, and I have him help me. There are certain meals that he knows what his job is.
Okay.
And like he pours all the cans of stuff in, or he,
Nice.
So we do that together. But I'll say, okay, what is this? What are we having? And he'll tell me.
Okay.
And if he says fire meat, or he says whatever, I'll say, or if I get the tortillas and I say, Jace, what are we having? And if I haven't taken anything else out, all that he sees is tortillas, he'll say cheese on it. Because now a tortilla is a cheese on it.
Cheese on it.
So I will just casually say, yeah, we've got the tortillas. What else do we need for bean burritos? So I correct him in a way where I just,
Okay.
So we don't, because the bigger deal you make out of it, the more he recognizes he's wrong, in his mind he's wrong. And then he gets upset. I try to do it in a way where he doesn't feel like he's wrong. He just slowly adapts the new word for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Cool.
So,
all right.
I was trying to think of any other funny ones. I don't know.
I mean, I can't think of like for animals or characters or places. Did he mix things up? I keep thinking there's got to be something.
He mixes up a lot of animals. For a while, everything on four legs was a dog.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't generalize.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they generalize. They don't
okay.
categorize, right? So he would, to him, everything was a dog that had four legs, until he realized there was a difference between a cat and a dog, and then he could recognize the cat. So then he slowly learned what a cow was. Now, if you don't see the udders on the cow, or if the cow is not a black and white cow, he might struggle a little bit with what it is.
Right.
If it's just a plain brown cow, he might not be able to recognize.
Let's see, that makes sense.
And then a horse, he recognizes a horse most of the time. But any animal, like if you pointed to a camel, or like a hippo, he would call it a horse, because it has a similar look to it, right?
Okay.
So it's a long process of just pointing it out, and you have to be careful, like I said, not to correct him in a way that makes him feel like he did it wrong. We were just watching something the other night. Mike was watching a show about sharks, and Mike pointed to the TV and he says, Jace, what is that? What is that thing that's swimming right there? And Jason says, dolphin. And Mike's like, well, it definitely looks like a dolphin. But he said, I think that's a shark, though. And Jason said, shark. You know, and he's like, yeah,
And he was
what do you
fine,
think of
yeah.
that shark? So we just have to find ways to correct him without correcting him, you know?
Right, right. No, that makes sense. My granddaughter's a little sensitive in some of those areas
Yeah.
about, you know, because if I criticize her gymnastics at all, I said, I tell everybody. Now she knows it's kind of a joke. Like she'll do a cartwheel and I go, I'll say, what am I going to say about the cartwheel? What am I going to tell you need to do? Put my hands up afterwards. I go, every time, you know. Or sometimes I go, I'm not going to look at that cartwheel till those hands are up. And she knows I'm not being critical. I'm
Right.
just, you know, and then when she does it, I go, all right. You know, so I joke with her, but she knows. But because she said once I hurt her feelings or something, and I go, why, you're, she didn't say criticize, but whatever. I said, no, I'm telling you how to make it better. It's great. I'm just telling you how to make it better.
Right.
And then I said, I'm sorry if it came across that I was criticizing you. I'm just so excited that you're doing so good, and I just want to make it better and better and better and better, because that's
Right.
just my job of what to do with all the kids, is to just make it to the best that they can do. Because you can always make something better. Doesn't mean it's not good. It just means it can always be better. That's our concept, though, because it can always be better. Then it's never good enough, you know. So it does sound like a mixed message. That's just the
Wow.
nature of the beast.
Expecting perfection.
And everyone who knows me knows I'm not that way. A lot of it's just joking. But because she is sensitive, I do have to be careful.
Yeah.
And if I do hurt her feelings and I know I messed up, I will apologize a lot. So,
Yeah, and with Jace, and he, you know, a lot of times we misunderstand what he said, or we misinterpret a situation,
yeah.
and or he'll be asking me for something, and I misunderstand what he's saying, and then my answer doesn't make sense to him, and he'll just kind of scowl at me
Oh.
and not say anything back, like he's confused.
And do his,
You know, and then I'll dig a little bit and I'll find out, oh, you meant blah, 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 you know. So I have to make sure that I'm understanding what it is he's
right.
asking me
No,
for.
yeah, I see that.
I'm trying to think of an example right now. Like here's something that happens a lot.
Okay.
When we're driving to, like if I'm driving him to his program in the morning, he's got his lunch, and he always gets one of those miniature Diet Cokes in his lunch, right?
Okay.
And if he gets a good report, although now it's pretty much just every day because he does well every day, thank goodness. But I tell him, if you get a good report, then we'll stop and get you a big Coke at the
Oh.
gas station. Okay. So as we're driving out every single morning, he starts in Diet Coke. Yes. So I'm like, are you had your diet, you know, I hate to admit this, but he gets a Diet Coke after breakfast, a little one. And then he gets one in his lunch. Anyway,
All right.
so I say, you had your morning one, and there's one in your lunchbox. And then he'll just look at me for a minute. He'll say, Diet Coke. I'll say, are you asking me if you're going to get a Diet Coke after SVS? Yes. Oh, okay. So he means I want to stop on the way home.
So his Diet Coke is a very
It's
loaded
like-
statement.
Yeah. Well, and then other times he'll say, stop at the gas station.
Does he say it like a ghost?
He says it.
Gas
He
station.
says it like an Italian.
Stop at the gas station.
I should say like an Italian. That was probably not
Ooh,
culturally correct.
How dare you?
But
Never taught
Mike
me.
says that. He says, you sound like my stepdad
Oh.
Frank with his Italian
Gas
accent.
station.
Stop at the gas station. And what he means is, I want to stop at the gas station because you're going to take me in and get me a Coke. That's what it means.
Right.
So sometimes I'll say, I don't know if we're going to stop at the gas station because, you know, we may not need gas, so I don't need to stop at the gas station. But if we meet his dad at the gas station, he knows that if he says he has to go to the bathroom and we go inside, 9 times out of 10, he's going to get his Coke. So there's, and the thing is, even though, yes, that's manipulative, it's also a sign that he is strategizing that he's thinking it through and planning. That's planning, you know.
I say that about some of my, I have a girl in one of my classes at the school that has autism, and same thing. She'll do stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's really borderline. I'll say you're not wrong, but let's try it a different way or another way or whatever, you know. So we have a lot of moments like that where kids say stuff, and you're like, really need to try and steer them away from saying it like that, but they're right, and, you know. But sometimes it's funny.
That's the thing about it is they're very, at least with Jace, he's very, very honest for the most part. Now, he has been caught in lies before, and it's hilarious because he'll laugh. You know when he's lying because he'll start laughing. So, and lying is a calculated thing.
Yeah.
It's very...
Congratulations.
So it's like, you need to be happy you did that.
Yeah.
And like, I always know when he's done something he shouldn't, because usually I am trying to get ready in the morning, get dressed, do my hair, whatever I'm doing, and he's watching TV, and I'll hear him start giggling hysterically, and I'm like, what did he do? What did he get into? What did he find that he wanted to eat? And I'll come out, and a lot of times he'll make himself a cup of coffee.
He can make his own coffee.
With the Keurig. So I have to curb that because I'm afraid he'll burn himself. So I have to really, I've got to really.
Without you need to tell him you can't do it without me here.
Yeah. But he thinks that's hilarious. Or he'll get himself, like this morning or yesterday morning, he went ahead and finished off the last yogurt in the fridge.
Okay.
After breakfast. So before I even left the house, he had just had breakfast and he wanted a yogurt. So while I was getting ready, he got himself a yogurt. Well, he's been conditioned to ask for things, for everything.
Yeah.
Because we don't want him to get into something he shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, or even even telling us when he's going to the bathroom so that we can assist if he needs to for hygienic reasons.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, he got himself a yogurt, and I said, "Oh, did you have a yogurt?" Yeah, yes, and he's laughing hysterically because he thinks he got away with something, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, good. Well, I'm glad. Did you enjoy it?" "Yes." "Okay, good. I'm glad." And then I walked out. So it was like I deflated his little devious, part of that.
It's funny. I swear that girl, I don't think she's ever lied. We always laugh about that if I ask her, did you do this? Like she'll always, Jason's the same way, like doesn't he?
For the most part, although I have asked him things and he'll say no.
And then,
Or no, thank you, no. And you can tell.
That's a code word for I'm telling you a lie.
Yep, you can tell. Because most of the time he'll honestly answer yes.
Yeah.
So I'll say, I'll see a big red mark on his cheek, and I know that, and I could hear that he had been hitting himself in the shower for whatever reason. There are reasons that he does it, but there are things I can't really share. They're a little private anyway. So he'll come out of the shower, and I'll see this big red mark, and I'll say, "Oh, did you hit yourself?" And he'll not answer for a bit. And I'll say, "Jace, you have a big red mark on your cheek. Did you hit your cheek?" "Yes." "Okay, well, does it hurt?" "Yes." I said, "Well, then don't do it again. If it hurts, don't do it." But rarely will he say no to that.
And he won't answer why. Like he never.
No, rarely. I think once or twice in his whole life has he actually given me an answer. What I have to do is say, I'll start with, "Why are you upset?"
Yeah.
And he'll say, "Don't hit yourself." "Yeah, okay." And then I'll go to, "Is there something that you want?" "Yes." "Okay, what is it that you want?" Or I'll even say something like, Was it too loud? Yes. And if he doesn't answer, that usually is a no.
Okay. I see
So
what
if
you're
he
saying.
looks at you blankly, like, what are you talking about? You know, then that's not what the problem is.
Okay.
But he won't come right out and say what the problem is himself. You have to pull it out of him by saying, was it this? Was it that? Was it this? And the hard part about that is sometimes he'll just answer yes to everything, so you never really get a clear answer.
Yeah.
So the language is really a struggle. And, you know, that's why they need so much patience and assistance,
Yeah.
is because communicating in society is really, really challenging.
It's going to be scary for them, you know. If any one of us could not communicate, I mean, the only other people I could think of is someone who has a stroke maybe and can't. They're telling you, I want a brush,
Or
and
even
you get them a brush, and then they're like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's the only people
Yeah.
on this planet that I know of that
Would
could
understand.
identify.
Well, I think too, though, to a certain extent, those who use sign language.
Oh, that's
Those
true.
who use sign
Yeah.
language, if somebody doesn't know how to sign, you have to either write everything out or, you know,
Yeah.
you can't communicate. So it's similar to that in a way too, because society is not trained, not everyone's trained in, few people are trained in sign
Right,
language.
right.
And, but they push for that person to be able to speak,
Don't
even
get me
though,
started with that.
you know, and so they, in the beginning, they didn't want you to sign because they wanted you to continue learning to speak. Well, guess what? Same thing in the autism world.
I was just going to say, we talked about this before, and I took sign language in college. I don't know, a lot of semesters of it because I thought I was going somewhere with it. And I still know some stuff. But I remember our professor back in the 80s telling us that I think I've talked about this before, but they associated sign language with the smell of a bathroom because they were in the 50s when he was growing up. It might have even been the 40s because he was a professor in the 1980s, so this could have been in the 40s or 50s.
Right.
But they were trying to get kids who were hearing impaired to speak only and not use sign language because they thought it was, quote, animalistic. Now, that's what I remember. All these years since I 40-something years out of school, I remember that. And I thought, how awful. Like,
Wow.
isn't that the same thing? So when I see that dad that I follow, I can't remember his name, that he said people were telling him he's going backwards with his daughter because he's using a letter board.
Oh, yes,
because she
yes.
can't, talk. And then we know people that say, I don't want my kid to have a device because I don't want them to rely on it. It's like, and same with sign language. If you told them, we don't want you to sign, we want you to speak because you can speak.
So now you are
Yeah.
forcing that person into being even more challenged or even more handicapped, if you want to use that word, because now they can't even use the language system that helps them.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, so I can't even use that.
Right.
Like,
Because
it's
not, like you said, not
ridiculous.
everybody knows sign.
Well, and I understand,
But if they can't talk, like you said, they write it down. So what if you don't know what if they don't know how to write?
yeah. Well, I'm
Just kidding.
really, really getting tired of the experts.
Some experts.
And then,
yeah, some
or like,
experts.
even go back to when you weren't allowed to be left-handed.
Oh yeah, that's
And
such a
teachers would
such a weird
slap
thing.
you on the hand if you used your left hand. It's like,
Yeah.
Who are we?
This is a right world. You
We're
can't be left.
traumatizing people. We're traumatizing children, and we're
Yeah.
traumatizing people just because we want them to all fit in that same hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead of thinking outside the box to help them become the highest, best they can be,
Right.
we're trying to pound them to fit into the hole that society wants them to be in. It's like, ugh.
Ridiculous.
So anyway, to tie that up,
Yes.
the letter board that we received, my plan is to try and find a place where I can help Jace learn to use it,
Right.
to spell things out. Now, he can look at words and actually, a lot of words, he can look at them and he can spell them by looking at the word.
Yeah.
I want him to be able to point to the letter board to put a word together
Right,
himself.
right. That's the
or,
goal.
or a sentence
Yeah.
himself. That's the goal. So that's kind of where we are with that. And he won't stop talking because we're still going to talk with him.
Yeah.
So it's not going to
re-
make him stop talking.
Yeah, it's not about replacing it, but But if you can communicate by any means necessary, why would you want to stop? I'll tell you real quick. This person in one of our classes had cerebral palsy or spastic quadriplegia or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that either. But the parents didn't want the device at their house because at the time it was not like the devices handheld. I think, I don't know, it was on wheels, it was big and bulky, and they said it's too big and bulky for our house. So they didn't want a device that their child could communicate. Cut to, this child is in another school, and somebody wanted to talk to me to find out how I communicated with this child. And I just was like, I worked so hard to get this child where I was, and they can manipulate a tablet. What? No, they can't. We tried that or whatever. So I went to the classroom and showed them some of the stuff that child could do. And it's like, now you got the teachers again not working with you, and your own parents are like, I don't want to do that. I was just like, why?
It's like you have the key to that child's cage.
Yeah.
That they're locked in.
Right.
And you have a key, but you're refusing to use it because it's not convenient for you, or it's too much work, or there's not enough teachers to help them. We can't individualize
Which is total BS, because they have one-on-ones for that reason.
We have a choice as a society to either spend money on all of these individuals needing complete, full care for the rest of their life, when they could have become independent had they had the support early on to learn how to be independent and to learn how to communicate in alternate ways. Right. If we're not willing to put the money in the school age years, we're still going to have to put the money in later. All right? So
that's right.
You got to think outside that box that us capitalists have kept our everything we do, everything we plan. It's always measured by, well, how much is that going to cost?
Yeah.
Does it matter? In the end, you're going to spend it here or you're going to spend it there. But the most important thing is that you're giving a person, a child, the freedom to develop to be the highest potential they can. And isn't that something that we all should celebrate?
Yes. Why is that? I don't know. Why is that such a, some kind of agenda, like helping people and making people to the best of their abilities?
That's too woke.
It's too woke.
It's too woke to help those kids do a good job and be independent. But I don't want to pay for them when they get old either. Okay, well, there you go.
Well, and I have to say, too, and kind of going back to that student I was talking about, the speech therapist, she knows her stuff. I don't know. She went to school for that. But I do know that they have this board for this person. It's like a little clear, like a little rectangle, with donut hole in the middle, and then Velcro. You put, okay, that's good. But if I say, if they can move their hands, and I say, do you need to be changed? Yes or no? Instead of me getting a paper that has bathroom, all this stuff, which one do you need right now? And then they look at the bathroom. I mean, to take the time, and again, I understand, because then if you have someone who's never communicated with her, at least they have, hey, she comes with these pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know these. I get it. And that's like working with work. Like I would hold up a board and we're doing something in alphabetical order. Okay, which word's next? Is it this word or this word? Or that they nudge it with their hand or whatever, or their eyes. They look with their eyes. Is way faster than I have to go now find the picture and put it. Is it this or this? And then put it up to my face and then watch for the eyes. Which one is it? When they have machines that are called eye gaze, but the parents didn't want the eye gaze because it's too bulky for their house. So you don't want to have a thing that says, hey, are you ready for dinner? And that kid could look at the thing, yes, and it'll say yes. They look at it and it says yes.
The freedom that would give that person. Can you imagine being trapped in a body and there's an answer for you, and not all individuals with these disabilities are ever going to have those answers, because some are just not going to be able to improve, and that's the way it's just how it is.
Yeah.
But if there is one that can improve, Why hold them back?
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't either.
Don't.
So, anyway, enough ranting about it.
Enough ranting. We're tired, and I'm sure
It's
it
been a long
shows.
day.
We'll have more
But,
pep in our step
yeah,
next time.
hopefully, and hopefully, yeah. And we've got some fun things coming up that we're going to talk about. But next week is probably going to be another one about about autism.
Well, it'll be
But-
his birthday
but-
party that day.
Oh,
It'll be
yeah.
that day, though. Oh, Sunday, though.
We'll
have to talk about that the week after.
Yes, we're having a birthday party for him now. It's nothing special. He's 32. It's not, but his sisters gave him a gift certificate for $50 for Chuck E. Cheese. Well, just me and my husband or whatever taking him to Chuck E. Cheese and spending $50, it's like, okay, I would rather have the family there
Yeah.
and the grandkids so that, he has people with him to play and stuff.
Right, right.
So we're going to just have a little gathering on the 19th.
Is there going to be cake?
He has requested cake, so there will be cake.
Yes.
Now, his favorite is ice cream cake.
I'll
Chocolate ice cream cake.
Better be good
But I
ice
don't
cream
know
cake.
if I will be doing that because I have to haul it all the way to the place, and I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
guarantee that it would stay frozen.
That's
so.
true. There's a Dairy Queen everywhere. No, I'm just kidding.
It's true. Anyway, so maybe we'll give you some highlights of that. I think the last week I've got some clips that we
Okay,
can share
good,
and just different
good.
things so that you kind of get to know who he is. But
Well,
anyway,
we can talk
maybe
about
we'll-
our program and the KVCR thing
yeah,
and all
yeah,
those
yeah.
days.
Oh yeah, we can
Yeah,
talk
so
about
we
that.
get stories,
We
we
need to
get
talk about
stories.
Star for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm saying. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe next week it'll be about how we found sensory stimulation to be such a gift in gymnastics,
Yeah.
movement,
correct my hands.
education, fitting in with that, and
Yes.
what a blessing that was. And we'll talk
Yes.
about that
and how it's
discovery.
affecting. And today, since I'm coaching now,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about we didn't have kids in there before, but now
Right.
we do. So
Yeah.
that'll be good. We can talk about all the
Yes.
gymnastics portion of it.
So thanks for joining us.
Thank
This
you.
is a little bit different, a little more of a serious topic, I guess. Hopefully we made it educational and fun. I don't know. But like this is a random podcast after all.
It's random.
It's random. By cracky.
By cracky.
By gum. That was the
By gum.
By gum. By
By
gum.
gum.
It's well, Grandma didn't have an accent like that.
No.
Grandma Bell did, but not
Yeah.
Grandma the other Grandma. Grandma McManus. I don't know how. It was more of a Midwestern.
I would say-
Minnesota.
Yeah, close, but still,
It's
she
like-
was pretty much California, I think. by
Well,
now.
that's true. But she did have a slight. There's still that slight Michigan
Yeah.
accent.
Ah, you need to find tapes of her and put those make
Somewhere
a
we
montage.
have something. Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's it. We're rambling now, and it's
Bye-bye.
time for us to say goodnight.
Bye bye.
So thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.